Learn English easily with Pro English.
Welcome back to the Speak English podcast. Today, we are going to ask you to do something that might feel a little bit embarrassing. I want you to go to the library, walk past the business English section, walk past the classic literature section, and go straight to the children's section. I want you to pick up a book with pictures of animals on the cover. Today, we are talking about why reading children's books is the absolute fastest way to hack your brain for English fluency.
Michael, are you serious? I am 30 years old. I am a professional. I cannot sit on the train reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar. People will think I have lost my mind. Or worse, they will think I am stupid. I want to read the New York Times, not Clifford the Big Red Dog. It feels like a step backward. It feels like failure. Why would I do this?
It feels like failure because of your ego. But let's look at the science. When you try to read the New York Times or Harry Potter too early, you are looking up a word in the dictionary every 30 seconds. That is not reading. That is decoding. It is painful, it is slow, and your brain hates it. Children's books offer something magical called comprehensible input. They are designed to be understood. They use the most common 1,000 words in English, repeated over and over again in clear, perfect grammar.
Comprehensible input. I have heard that term. It means input that I understand, right? So if I understand the story, I learn the language faster.
Exactly. If you understand 90 of the words, your brain can naturally guess the other 10 from the context. You learn new words without a dictionary. But if you only understand 50, your brain shuts down. Children's books are the perfect training wheels. They hold you up while you learn to ride the bike. Plus, they have pictures.
Pictures, again, I feel like a baby. Look at the bunny. How do pictures help me learn advanced grammar?
Pictures are the ultimate context clues. Imagine a page says, "The man was furious." You might not know the word furious, but look at the picture. The man has a red face, steam coming out of his ears, and his fists are clenched. You instantly know furious means very angry. You just learned a B2 level word, furious, using an A1 level book, instantly, without translating it to your native language. That is the power of visual context.
Okay, that is a good point. I would probably translate furious in my head, but the picture makes me feel the meaning. So, what kind of books are we talking about? Do I have to read baby books with one word per page? Apple ball, because that will bore me to death.
No, don't read baby board books. We are looking for picture books, stories with plot, or early chapter books, books for 7 to 10-year-olds. Think of authors like Roald Dahl, Charlie, and the Chocolate Factory, or series like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. These are funny, they have plots, but the language is simple. But before you pick a book, you need to use the 5-finger rule. This is the secret test to know if a book is right for you.
The 5-finger rule. Is this where I slap the book?
No violence against books. Here is how it works. Open the book to a random page in the middle. Start reading. Every time you see a word you don't know, put up 1 finger. If you finish the page and you have 0 or 1 fingers up, the book is too easy. It's good for speed, but you won't learn much. If you have 4 or 5 fingers up, the book is too hard. You will get frustrated and quit. If you have 2 or 3 fingers up, this is the Goldilocks zone. It is just right. You will learn new words, but you will still enjoy the story.
2 or 3 fingers per page. That is a very specific metric. I usually pick books where I have 10 fingers up. If I had 10 fingers on one hand, that explains why I fall asleep reading. Okay, so I find a book in the Goldilocks zone. Do I read it out loud or silently?
Read it out loud 100. When you read silently, your brain skips words. It skims. When you read out loud, you force your mouth to produce every syllable. You practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. You are training your mouth muscles. Plus, children's books often rhyme. The Cat in the Hat is a masterclass in pronunciation. The cat sat on the mat. The fox in socks. These rhymes drill specific vowel sounds into your memory. It's like a pronunciation gym.
A pronunciation gym, I like that. But Michael, children's books are weird. They talk about talking animals and magic. Will I actually learn useful English? Or will I just learn how to say the dragon ate the princess? I need to speak to my boss, not a dragon.
This is a common misconception. You think you need business English to speak to your boss, but actually, you need narrative tenses. You need to tell your boss what happened yesterday, past simple, what was happening when the client called, past continuous, and what you have done so far, present perfect. Children's stories are the masters of narrative. Once upon a time, there was a bear. He was walking in the forest when he found a pot of honey. He had never seen honey before. That is 3 complex past tenses in 2 sentences. If you internalize that structure, you can replace bear with manager and honey with report, and you are speaking fluent business English.
Replace bear with manager. That is hilarious. The manager was walking in the office when he found a report. It actually works. The grammar structure is identical. So, I am learning the skeleton of the language, not just the vocabulary.
Exactly. You are absorbing the sentence patterns. Another great thing about kids' books is repetition. Adults hate repetition, but learners need it. In a book like Green Eggs and Ham, the phrase, "I do not like them," is repeated 50 times. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like them, Sam I am. By the end of the book, you will never make a mistake with the negative form, I do not like. It is burned into your brain forever.
That is true. I still remember rhymes from my own childhood language. Repetition is sticky. Okay, I am willing to try this. But I am still worried about the cringe factor. What if I buy these books on Amazon and my Kindle suggests books for 5-year-olds? Or I check them out at the library and the librarian judges me.
First of all, the librarian will probably think you are buying them for a child or a niece. Use that as your cover story. Yes, this is for my nephew. But honestly, there is a whole genre called graphic novels or comics. Tintin, Asterix, Calvin, and Hobbes. These are acceptable for adults to read. They are visually stunning. The dialogue is fast and natural, and nobody looks at you strangely for reading a comic. Graphic novels are the bridge between kids' books and real books.
Graphic novels, I love Tintin, I didn't think of that. And the dialogue in comics is usually very conversational, right? It's all speech bubbles, so it's like real talking.
Precisely. Novels have a lot of description. The sun was setting over the horizon, casting a golden glow. You don't use that in conversation. Comics are all dialogue. Look out, run. What do we do now? I have an idea. It is functional language. It is the language of action and reaction. If you want to improve your conversational English, comics are actually better than novels.
That is a great tip. Functional language. Okay, what about audiobooks? Many children's books come with a CD or an audio version. Is it cheating to listen while I read?
It is not cheating, it is supercharging. We call this assisted reading. If you listen to the audio while you read the text, you are connecting the sound to the spelling. English spelling is a nightmare. Though through, rough. If you read The Knight Fought the Dragon and you hear knight and /fought, you instantly learn the silent letters. Children's audiobooks are usually narrated by amazing actors who do funny voices. It's entertaining.
Connecting sound to spelling. That is huge for me. I often know a word when I read it, but I don't recognize it when I hear it. So reading and listening together bridges that gap. Okay, I have a plan. Go to the library or comic store. Use the 5-finger rule, 2 to 3 fingers is the goal. Look for graphic novels or chapter books, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Read out loud or use the audiobook. But Michael, what if I want to read Harry Potter? Everyone says Harry Potter is the best for learners. Is it too hard for a beginner?
Harry Potter is the ultimate goal, but it is a trap for beginners. The first book is okay, maybe A2, B1 level, but J.K. Rowling uses a lot of magical vocabulary and British slang that isn't very common. Wand, cauldron, cloak, muggle. If you are A1 or A2, start simpler. Start with Roald Dahl like the BFG or Matilda. His language is creative, but the sentence structures are simpler. Build up to Harry Potter. Don't start there.
That is good to know. I don't want to get stuck on cauldron on page 1. Okay, Michael, I am feeling less embarrassed and more strategic. I am not reading baby books. I am analyzing narrative structures through simplified input.
That is the spirit. You are a researcher. In part 2, we are going to look at specific series I recommend. We will talk about graded readers, books written specifically for learners, and whether they are boring or useful. And we will try a live reading experiment with a famous children's story to show you exactly how much grammar is hidden inside.
A live reading, I'm excited. Let's take a break and come back for story time. Fin delaparte 1. Quieres que gener la parte 2, turnos 31 a 60, TEMA, read children's books. Part 2. Graded readers, the analysis game. Duracion parte 2. 15 minutos aprox.
Welcome back to part 2. Before we dive into the specific book recommendations, I need to introduce you to a secret weapon called graded readers. If the idea of reading a book for 5-year-olds makes you cringe, graded readers are your solution. These are books written specifically for language learners. They take famous stories like Sherlock Holmes, Dracula, or even modern Movisan. They rewrite them using simplified vocabulary and grammar. They are labeled by level: A1, A2, B1.
Rewritten books, that sounds a bit dry, like reading a textbook version of a movie. Are they actually interesting, or does the language feel robotic? The man went to the door. He opened the door. It was a nice door. I don't want to read that.
They used to be boring, but the modern ones are fantastic. Publishers like Penguin Readers or Oxford Bookworms hire real authors to adapt these stories. The plot moves fast, the drama is there, but the sentences are just cleaner. Instead of a paragraph describing the curtains for 10 lines, they say, "The room was dark." You get the story without the fatigue. It gives you a sense of achievement. I just finished a novel in English. That confidence boost is priceless.
Okay, finishing a whole novel sounds amazing. I have started many English books and stopped on page 20. Finishing one would feel like climbing Everest. So, if I don't want a graded reader, if I want a real book that is naturally simple, what is your number 1 recommendation?
My absolute top pick for modern learners is Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. Here is why. It is a diary. It is written in the first person. I went. I felt. This is the most useful perspective for you because you usually talk about yourself. Visuals. It has cartoons on every page that explain the context. Slang. It uses natural school slang. You learn words like jerk, hang out, grounded, freak out. It is not baby language, it is real-life language.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I have seen those, they look funny. And you make a great point about the first-person perspective. Fairy tales are usually once upon a time he went, but I need to practice I went. What about something a bit more classic or poetic? I really like The Little Prince. Is that good for English?
The Little Prince is beautiful, but be careful. It is a translation from French, and sometimes the language can be a bit philosophical and abstract. It is B1, B2 level. For a classic that is accessible, try Charlotte's Web or anything by Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl is the master. Try The Twits or George's Marvelous Medicine. They are short, they are nasty, kids love nasty stories, and the adjectives are incredible. He describes ugly people with such rich vocabulary: disgusting, filthy, wonky. You will never run out of insults.
Wonky, I love that word. It means not straight, right? Like a wonky table. See, I am learning already. Okay, you promised a live reading experiment. I want to see how you analyze a children's book to extract grammar. Pick a story everyone knows.
Let's take The Very Hungry Caterpillar. It seems like a baby book, right? But let's look at the grammar. The story goes, on Monday he ate through 1 apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. What are we learning here? Days of the week: on Monday, on Tuesday. Past irregular verbs: eat, ate. Phrasal verbs: eat through, meaning to eat the whole thing from one side to the other. Conjunctions: but. Adverbs: still. If you memorize that one sentence pattern, you can use it in your life. On Monday, I worked through my emails, but I was still busy.
Wow, I worked through my emails, but I was still busy. That is a perfect business sentence, and it came from a caterpillar eating a pear. That is mind-blowing. The structure is identical. So I should memorize the pattern, not just the fruit.
Exactly. You are harvesting the sentence structure. Let's try another one. The three little pigs. I will huff and I will puff and I will blow your house down. Look at the phrasal verb, blow down. To destroy with air. Look at the future tense for threats promises. I will. If you are angry at your computer, you can say, I will shut you down. You take the emotion and the grammar from the wolf and you apply it to your IT problems.
The big bad wolf teaching me future tense threats. I love it. So the key is to not just read passively but to stop and ask, how can I steal this sentence? But Michael, to do this, I need to make it a habit. If I only read once a month, it won't work. How do I fit this into my chaotic life? I work, I have a family, I have Netflix.
You have to replace the doom scrolling. Most of us spend 20 minutes in bed looking at Instagram or TikTok before sleep. It's bad for your sleep, and it's bad for your brain. Replace that with 10 minutes of reading. Put the children's book on your pillow in the morning. When you go to bed, it is waiting for you. 10 minutes is enough. It's low pressure. And because it's a physical book, no blue light, you will sleep better. And here is the rule. Do not stop to look up words.
Wait, what? Do not look up words. But you said I need to learn. If I don't look it up, how will I know what it means? I feel anxious just thinking about skipping words.
This is the rule of three. If you see a new word for the first time, ignore it, keep reading, guess from context. If you see it a second time, notice it. Ah, that word again. If you see it a third time, now you can look it up. Why? Because if a word appears 3 times, it is clearly important to the story. If it only appears once, it's probably a rare decoration like glistening or shimmering. Don't waste time on rare words. Let the frequency dictate your dictionary use.
The rule of three, that saves so much time. I usually look up every adjective and it takes me an hour to read one page. That is why I quit. What about rereading? I tend to read a book once and throw it away. Done. Is there value in reading the same simple book twice?
Rereading is where the fluency happens. Read one, you are reading for the plot. What happens next? Does the pig survive? Your brain is stressed about the story. Read two, you know the plot. Now your brain can relax and look at the language. Oh, look how he used huff and puff. Look at that preposition. The second time, you are reading as a writer. You notice the mechanics. I highly recommend reading a chapter quickly for the story and then reading it again slowly for the English.
First for the story, second for the science. That makes sense. Okay, let's talk about libraries. I haven't been to a library in years. Are they still relevant? Or should I just download everything on my iPad?
Libraries are amazing, and many of them have apps now like Libby or Overdrive, where you can borrow ebooks and audiobooks for free. However, for this specific technique, I prefer physical books. Why? Because you can write in them if you own them. You can underline the wolf sentence. You can circle the caterpillar grammar. Also, a physical children's book has a psychological effect. It feels like playtime, not work time. An iPad feels like work, email notifications popping up. A paper book with a picture of a dog on it feels like a break.
That is true. My iPad is a stress machine. A book is a quiet object. So let's summarize the strategy. Choose a book in the Goldilocks zone 2 to 3 unknown words per page. Try graphic novels or graded readers if you feel shy. Read out loud to practice your mouth muscles. Steal sentences. Turn the caterpillar ate the apple into I worked through the emails. Rule of 3 for the dictionary. 10 minutes before bed, instead of Instagram.
That is the perfect summary. You are ready. I have one final challenge for you, Sarah, and for everyone listening. This week, I want you to go to a bookstore or a library. I want you to walk into the children's section. I want you to pick up a book that makes you smile. Maybe it's Dr. Seuss, maybe it's Tintin. And I want you to buy it or borrow it. Don't hide it. Put it on your coffee table. Be proud of it.
I am going to do it. I think I will buy The Cat in the Hat. I want to master those vowel sounds, and if anyone asks, I'll tell them it's for my advanced linguistic analysis course.
Perfect cover story. I am studying phonological rhyme schemes in 20th century literature. Nobody will question you. Thank you for joining us today. Stop trying to be a genius and start being a child. You will learn faster.
Start being a child. Best advice ever. Thanks, Michael. Bye, everyone.
Happy reading. Fin del episodiocompleto. Turnos 1 a 60 completados. Durasin total 30 minutos.